Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Michelle Adamas and I'm the owner of Vintage Revival Design Co. And this is part 3 in our gel plate printing series. And I believe it's going to be the final in this series. It's not that we won't gel plate more, but yeah, so it all starts with gel plate prints. And so I've taken you through the basic steps and mark making and working with a limited color palette. And so today we're going to be taking these gel prints and I'm going to show you how it all begins with a masterboard. And then from a masterboard, we're going to do these little samples and explore different ways that we can take our gel prints even a little bit further. So I hope you enjoy this. If you do, I would love for you to subscribe, hit the notification buttons. I'm here every Tuesday at 2 for studio sessions. Welcome and let's get started. I absolutely love to start with the masterboard, and to do that, I'm going to take all of my gel prints, some matte gel medium, and a brush that I mark with painter's tape so I know that it's not a brush I'm going to use for paint in the future. And I start by taking all of my little prints. I've actually scanned these and printed them onto a rice paper with my inkjet printer. And so that's another reason that I'm using the matte gel medium. I'm going to apply a coat over the entire piece of paper, and then I'm going to be putting together my masterboard puzzle. I love that all of these prints used a limited color palette because no matter what the design is, I know that all of the colors are going to coordinate beautifully. It really is like a jigsaw puzzle. I usually start on an edge and then I am not very uniform from there. And my little pieces of paper start out really organized, but that goes away really quickly. I tend to go in one direction at first, and then I start to add the papers in horizontal or vertical. And really here, I'm just trying to get the different hues and colors. I have golds and greens and blues in my design, and I want all of those to shine through. A masterboard is a beautiful exercise, and you'll see that when we're done, I can scan this or make a photocopy of it, and that way I always have this beautiful masterboard to work with at another time and can do so many things with it. But the beauty of this is really just to play and add your papers as you would like to, and I'm just going to have a lot of fun with this. Once my masterboard is basically complete, I'm gonna go around and look for any white spaces that I may have missed, and I'll just take little pieces and fill in. I'm also gonna take a moment to protect my masterboard before I go on to the next step. And I do that by applying 2 coats of a spray fixative, and then I apply 2 coats of clear gesso. Once that's all done, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to cut away the tape in the areas where my paper may have overlapped. And this is going to prevent me from tearing my paper. Once all the tape is removed, then I'm going to just take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut away that white border. And then I wanted to, for example sizes, cut these into smaller pieces. And so I decided to use a business card that I had as an example, and I ended up with 5 designs because I messed up my measurements. It happens. And so now I'm just going to round the corners of all of these and we're going to get to the embellishing. For this first little sample, I wanted to use a stencil, but I didn't want, I'm really going to isolate some color here. So I'm using a white Gelli pen and I'm using the stencil as a pattern. And I'm going to just fill in some areas that I think will look nice and still allow some of that really vibrant color to show through. And so I'm not really particular about it. I'm just stenciling or tracing in the areas that I want on my card. And so once that's done, I can lift that up and I'm ready for the next step. For this first sample, I'm going to be using Golden's Fluid Acrylic in a really beautiful gold. And I'm going to use a small brush, and I basically am going to paint over any of the white lines that I created with the gel pen. My idea is that I'm going to isolate some colors, and I also want to bring out some 3D elements. So when I'm done doing that, I have this beautiful little metallic look, and we're going to take it even a little bit further. I'm going to add some Liquitex glaze to my gold paint and mix that up really well. And on the outside of those gold lines that I did, I'm going to fill in with this metallic glaze. It's going to make the entire card cohesive, but still allow those painted flowers to stand out. Once that's done, it's got some beautiful shimmer, and I'm going to take it one step further. In the open spaces where there is no paint, I'm applying diamond glaze, which is an adhesive that gives a 3D underglass effect, and I'll let that dry. For the second card, I'm actually going to use a piece of tissue that I have stenciled with molding paste, and I'm going to first apply this tissue paper with my gel medium. For this next one, I'm going to use my matte gel medium and a piece of tissue that I've stenciled on. The tissue is transparent, so it allows color to show through. I'm going to smooth that in place and use some plastic wrap, and then I'm going to apply a gloss medium after I have removed all of the excess, and I love how the color shows through on this. The gloss medium is just going to give it a little bit of shine and enhance the transparency of the tissue. For my third card, I'm going to do a similar technique as the bubble tissue, but I'm using a mulberry paper that I've stamped typography on. And I'm applying it and sealing it with my matte medium, and I love how this one turned out. For our fourth sample, I'm using a stamp that I created with a lino cut technique, and it's just a simple botanical. And I've been dying to try it. I created the stamp but haven't used it yet. And so I'm applying white acrylic paint with my brayer, and I'm making sure, trying not to go on the carved lines, but if it happens, it happens. I'm going to lay this on top upside down and apply pressure with my hands to this. When I first did this, I really felt like it came out a little too light. And so I held my breath and tried to line it up and did a second coat. And then I felt like it was just right. I used my brayer to apply pressure, and that seems to be the technique that works best for this. So I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. For our final sample, I'm going to mix up some molding paste with some acrylic paint, and I'm going to use a palette knife and just place that into a stencil. Not over the entire thing. I just want to add a little bit of interest, and I think this is such a fun way to embellish a gel print as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have a favorite in the comments, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Happy creating.